Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. My name is James Butenbaugh, and I'm the class coordinator and instructor for police for the 284th Basic Training Class. At this time, I ask that you please stand and join me in welcoming today's graduates, the 284th Basic Training Class. Members of the 284th, ladies and gentlemen, please remain standing, and I direct your attention to the Reno County Honor Guard for the presentation of colors and the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. Please be seated. The Wall of Honor was designated as a reminder to those KLETC graduates who have died in the line of duty. The names and photographs of the 27 individuals memorialized preserve their memories and give family, friends, and law enforcement officers the opportunity to remember those who made the ultimate sacrifice in the service of the citizens of Kansas. At this time, we will observe a moment of silence for those 27 KLETC graduates that are no longer with us. Thank you. Members of the 284th Basic Training class, congratulations. Your graduation day came. All right. You've made it. You began your adventure at KLETC way back July 19th with the hopes of serving your communities as full-time law enforcement officers. Emily Dickinson said, if you take care of the small things, then large things will take care of themselves. And I want to pair this quote with a Bible verse that says, whoever will be trusted with little can be trusted with much. In your time here at KLETC, you have demonstrated that you can take care of little things, and as a result of that short time, you will be certified as law enforcement officers and trusted to much. You took care of little things by showing up each day for roll call, ready to start your day. You waited patiently in your place to say the Pledge of Allegiance. This demonstrated a self-discipline, respect, and the ability to follow a simple rule. There are many small things that you did each and every day. These things alone did not make you successful. They were but stepping stones on the path that led you to sitting here today, and shortly will receive the reward of your efforts. So remember, take care of the small things and you will be trusted with larger things in the future. On the first day of the academy, I asked you, your class, why did you want to be law enforcement officers? It should have been something that each of your agencies have asked you. I did this so that you would focus on that purpose during your time here at KLETC. Friedrich Nietzsche also said, he who has a why can bear almost any how. This job does not come without pain and heartache. You should have known that when you signed up or learned it while you were here at KLETC, especially when that pepper spray hit you in the face. All joking aside, you will experience disappointment and pain, whether it comes from wearing your duty belt and vest for 10 to 12 hours shifts, or fighting somebody who doesn't want to go to jail, or telling a mother or father their child won't be coming home. You will also miss important things: family gatherings, holidays, children's sporting events, loved ones' birthdays, possibly even your own anniversary. You may also experience the pain of trauma from things that you have seen and done. So remember, your why will provide you your purpose and be a guide for you during your journey in this life. Furthermore, I want to tell you to not try to do this alone. Your family, friends, peers, and community are all there to help you, just as you are there to help them. You have demonstrated that you have been there for each other for the last 14 weeks, just like the time you helped Maverick on the side of the road when he broke down and he was waiting for assistance. Or when you pulled together to help each other study for your academics, or 1,000 little things that you did to make your class identified as one possessing a very high level of integrity. One such incident was when you made sure that everyone put their phones in their proper place, even though you'd been given permission to do otherwise. Lastly, I want you all to remember to go fishing. It has been scientifically proven to be good for your body and mind, even if you're fishing in a parking lot. In closing, I want to wish you all success, happiness, safe, and healthy careers. You have chosen to answer the call to join a noble career of law enforcement. You are the thin blue line. A new adventure awaits you. God bless each and every one of you. On behalf of the KLETC administration, everyone at KLETC, congratulations on completing basic training. It has been my pleasure to introduce today our commencement speaker. Chief Jeff Hooper began his career at the Riley County Police Department in 1991. He had been hired, he completed an internship for Kansas State University and served as an auxiliary officer for the Riley County Police Department. He worked at the rank of Detective and Investigation Division from 1995 until 1998, when he was promoted to sergeant and returned to patrol. In 2001, he was promoted to the rank of lieutenant, and in 2003, 2003, he was transferred to the training lieutenant position, where he also served as the accreditation manager for the department and assumed the responsibility of maintaining the department's required standards set forth by the Commission of Accreditation for Law Enforcement Agencies. In 2004, he was promoted to acting captain. In 2005, captain. During his service with Riley County Police Department, Chief Hooper commanded all of the 5 service divisions, which afforded him the opportunity to learn about and lead all aspects of law enforcement agency. While at Raleigh County Police Department, Hooper was accredited to authoring a jail policy manual, inmate handbook, creating a bike unit, implementing a new evidence tracking system, beginning in the repeat offender program, completing an overhaul of the department's computer infrastructure, implementing a new intelligence-led policing strategy for the department, its crime analysis unit, and the implementation of a new self-insured workers' compensation program. In October 2018, Chief Hooper was hired to be the chief of police for the city of Hutchinson. Since joining the Hutchinson Police Department, Chief Hooper has again implemented the repeat offender program, a crime analysis, and new canine and drone units. Chief Hooper also initiated a focused community engagement plan and implemented intelligence-led policing strategies. In 2020, Chief Hooper was appointed by Governor Laura Kelly to the Kansas Commission on Police Officer Standards and Training. October 21, Chief Hooper was appointed by the Kansas Attorney General to the Kansas Criminal Justice Reform Commission. Since beginning his career in law enforcement, Chief Hooper has been a lead detective of the tactical unit and team commander. Chief Hooper graduated from the Kansas State University in 1991 with a bachelor's degree in sociology and criminal justice. He is a graduate of the FBI National Academy in class 213. Ladies and gentlemen, Chief Hooper.
Thank you. Chiefs, sheriffs, other law enforcement officials, family, friends, KLETC staff, and most importantly, the 284th basic class. I'm extremely honored to have the opportunity to be your speaker today. And when I was asked, I thought, how can I make something meaningful that will hopefully be impactful in your early careers? And I decided to do something a little bit different. That's kind of me. Today I'm going to talk about the uniform. This uniform represents the profession of law enforcement. And it is a very noble profession. You have chosen something that allows you the opportunity to sacrifice of yourself to serve others. The badge you pin to your chest is not a symbol of authority or power. It is a promise, a commitment, an obligation to our communities, the communities that we serve, that we will be there for them in the direst of times. Do you want to be a great police officer? It may surprise you to know that actually enforcing the laws has very little to do with being a great police officer. Sure, you can come in every day, you can punch in, you can go out, write a few tickets, make a couple of arrests, punch out, have a 20-year career. But that won't make you great. If you want to be a great police officer, you have to love and care about your community, about every person in your community that we serve. You have to be willing to sacrifice of yourself for the good of others. I hope you've heard of Sir Robert Peel, widely known as the father of modern day law enforcement. And one of the things Sir Robert Peel said was, the police are the public and the public are the police. Nothing could be more true when we're desperate in the times that we have today. So how do we make those connections? How do we do that? You see, in law enforcement, we've been our own worst enemies, right? We've been taught that everybody is a suspect, everybody's suspicious, always worried about what's around the next corner. We've been taught that we have to be strong, not show emotion. This uniform, a symbol of the profession of law enforcement, of integrity, professionalism, honesty. But this uniform also brings with it baggage. Baggage that every member of your community sees. And it comes from everything that they've ever heard, read, or seen about law enforcement. That can come from personal experiences, stories from their friends and neighbors. It can come from the TV news or social media. And what are those stories? What are portrayed on law enforcement in those forums? Most of the time, it's the dark side of law enforcement. That slim percentage of those in our profession that would tarnish the badge and take away from the professionalism of the uniform. That's the baggage that this uniform carries. Our job, how you become great, is to make those personal connections. Become human. It's okay. It's okay for your community to see you as one of them. To see that you have emotions, you have feelings, you have families. You cry, you bleed, just like they do. The only difference is you have chosen the noble profession of law enforcement. And you have committed to cry and bleed for them. And if you can do that, if you can make those connections, the uniform disappears. It fades away. And the next time you meet with that person in your community in their most desperate times, they don't see Officer Jones. They see Bobby, or they see Susan. Somebody with a servant heart that has dedicated their life to helping others. They see you as a person. That is what makes a great police officer. Every encounter you have with a member of your community from this day forward is an opportunity. An opportunity to honor the uniform, an opportunity to add to the nobility of the policing profession. But you can also add to the baggage. And that baggage will have to be carried by every law enforcement officer who has ever, is currently, or who is going to put this uniform on in the future. It affects the entire profession of law enforcement. That is a huge weight and a huge burden. You should feel that weight on your shoulders every day that you put that uniform on. But never let it get you down. Be the man or woman, be the person that rises above that and says, today I'm going to add to the nobility of law enforcement. Nobody is going to have to carry my baggage. What type of police officer do you want to be? Do you want to be good? Or do you want to be great? I'm extremely honored to be able to stand on this stage with men and women who've chosen the profession of law enforcement, who've chosen to be part of something bigger than themselves. You see, there are not a lot of people, especially these days, that will put on this uniform, pin a badge to their chest, kiss their loved ones goodbye, walk out their front door and risk their life in a community full of people that lots of times don't care about them. That takes an extremely special person. You have the opportunity to be that type of person. You have the opportunity to be great. God bless each and every one of you, and may you come home safe at the end of every shift.
KLETC would like to thank Chief Hooper for spending some time with us, taking some time out of his day to give the remarks that he has to the class. And as a memory of this, we'll provide him with this plaque. Thank you very much. It is also important to recognize those student officers who have excelled in various professional skill sets during their basic training. Fitness is a key component of an officer's life. It helps them manage the daily stress they will face and aids them in maintaining a healthier lifestyle, which will enable them to better mitigate the dangers they may encounter. All members of the 284th Basic Training class are active and engaged in a fitness routine during their time here. Some of them have gone the extra mile. The 200-mile club was created to recognize those students that complete 30 push-ups in a minute, 30 setups in a minute, and run a mile and a half in 18 minutes or less. Additionally, they will have to log 200 miles or more outside of their classroom activities. This is done by walking, running, cycling, or a combination of those activities. Francisco Guerrero of the Meade County Sheriff's Office, would you please join me at the podium? Thanks, sir. Officer Guerrero completed 241 miles as a member of the 200-mile club. He also exceeded the other physical requirements by having 33 push-ups in a minute, 36 sit-ups in a minute, and by completing the mile-and-a-half run in 12 minutes and 16 seconds. You truly deserve this award. Join me in congratulating Officer Guerrero. The Firearms Top Shot Award recognized the student officer of the 284th Basic Training class for their firearms proficiency. Officer Justin Dutcher of the Sac and Fox Tribal Police Department, please join me at the podium. Officer Dutcher has shown great skill and proficiency during both firearms qualification and during the tactical shooting drills. Shooting is a perishable skill and truly requires constant effort to maintain your abilities, and Justin, you have shown how practice and effort pay off. Well done. Officer Dutcher, this medal is awarded to you for being the top shot for the 284th Basic Training class. Please join me in recognizing Officer Dutcher in this achievement. It is now time for the class president of 284th Basic Training Class to deliver a few brief remarks on behalf of the graduating class. Ladies and gentlemen, the 284th Basic Training Class President, Officer Justin Atchison of the Wellsville Police Department.
Friends, family, administrative staff, and to all of those who are with us virtually, thank you for being with us on the graduation day of the 284th Basic Training Class from the Kansas Law Enforcement Training Center. 5 minutes ago, we arrived to attend our first day of education here. Somehow, 14 weeks have gone by since. We've had great days, bad days, and held each other accountable to a higher standard. We've seen other classes who were here before us graduate, as well as welcomed in classes who have come after us. We strive to introduce ourselves to new student officers and to make ourselves available to anyone who needed help, even if that help was lending a compassionate ear to someone who is facing professional or personal hardship. We became a family. I cannot overstate those words. 284 became what none of us ever expected. Nobody on this stage foresaw just how tight and true our bonds would become. I stand here today honored, truly honored. To be even a small part of this class would have been extraordinary enough. But to be the class president of 284 will forever be one of the greatest privileges I will ever experience. Prior to being elected class president, I had to give a speech to the class. In that speech, I said 284 does not need a president. I said it then, and I still wholeheartedly believe it today. Every single person on this stage with me could have been a phenomenal president for 284. Every single member of 284 has the integrity to make tomorrow's world a better place. If there was a single word for 284, it would be just that, integrity. I would respond to any call, anytime, anywhere, with anyone from 284. Every one of you will forever be part of my family. I've told you before, and I believe you all know well when I tell you again. Just call me. 284 would not be where we are today if it were not for the instructors who work day in and day out to offer us the best training, education, and experience they can provide. Among those instructors is someone who we proudly bow to at the top, our class coordinator, Mr. James Butenbaugh. Mr. Butenbaugh, we have seen you every morning for formation and for many hours of training. I know I speak for 284 when I say we will never be able to repay the immense life lessons you've selflessly taught us. Never. The core of 284 comes from you, sir. We deeply and sincerely love you. On those long days or nights when we're lost and are wondering what to do, it will be your guiding voice which leads us in the right direction. Although we cannot repay you, I humbly stand here before you and say, on behalf of the entire 284, we will strive every day while we wear the badges you helped us to earn, to be beacons of light, helping all of those who need it, to the best of our abilities, in hopes of making you proud. None of the words I've expressed in this speech will come close to telling you how we feel. But please let me say these two words which come from all of us. Thank you. And so I close with speaking directly to you, 284, the greatest class I could ever dream to be a part of. When we first arrived here on day one, we were told to remember our why. Why did we get into this profession? Why do we do the work we do? Which is a great question to always ask yourself. But I challenge you this. As you go through your career from day 1 to year 30, I ask that you remember your win. Remember when someone did not take the time to listen to you when you felt you had something important to say. Remember when you made a mistake. Remember when you saw out the application for the career you're entering. Remember when you were offered a position to make a difference by the agency you wear on your shoulder. Remember when you came here and felt lost, alone, and wondering if you'd made a mistake. Remember when you sat on this stage and graduated from the Kansas Law Enforcement Training Center as a member of 284, the last legacy class ever. And in the future, when you meet a rookie who's just gotten into this profession, remember when you were a rookie. Thank you. I love you all, and please stay safe.
Justin, it is my pleasure on behalf of the KLETC administration and staff to present you with this plaque in appreciation and recognition of you being the 284th Basic Class President. And I hope you display it proudly. Congratulations. Law enforcement ethics are at the forefront of training in our profession. The law enforcement oath of office affirmation is the constant reminder of the importance of always doing the right thing. This is something we've discussed in depth during your time here at KLETC. The ultimate purpose of law enforcement is public service. A law enforcement officer assumes great responsibility when they affirm the oath of office. They have entered the position of being role models, leading by example. They are enforcers of the law and protectors over our communities. Now I ask Class President Justin Atchison to lead the class in reciting the Law Enforcement Oath of Office affirmation. Class 284, please be seated. In a few moments, you will be presented with a challenge coin. A challenge coin is a symbolic and meaningful and given to somebody as a reminder of what they have done or to confirm membership in an organization. This coin today will recognize you as a graduate of KLETC. I ask you to carry it with you as a reminder of lessons learned and the friendships forged during your time here at KLETC. On the back of this coin is the oath that each of you affirmed just a moment ago. Carry it with you and let it be a constant reminder to you to always do the right thing. Graduates, it has been my distinct honor and privilege to be your class coordinator and a small part of your journey. I wish you nothing but success and happiness in the future. I now will ask KLET Associate Director Alvin Sowers to join me on stage and present the members of the 284th Basic Training Class with their certificates while I present each of you with a KLETC Challenge coin. Class President Justin Atchison will announce the names.
Front row, please stand. Barbara Altier Riera, the El Dorado Police Department. Alicia Breeze from the Coffee County Sheriff's Office. Colin Brozick from the Lyon County Sheriff's Office. Randy Cole from the Garden City Police Department. Lou Cottrell D'Esposito from the Wilson County Sheriff's Office. Justin Dutcher from the Sac and Fox Tribal Police Department. Jacob Erickson from the Garden City Police Department. Saul Farfan Uloa from the Columbus Police Department. Front row, please return to your seats. Please be seated. Second row, please stand. Francisco Javier Guerrero from the Meade County Sheriff's Office. Stephen Jackson from the Hutchinson Police Department. Liam Kieft from the Waukene Police Department. Neil Klein from the Andover Police Department. Dalton Leonard from the Hutchinson Police Department. Aaron Lockie from the Hayes Police Department. Crystal Lopez from the Finney County Sheriff's Office. Second row, please return to your seats. Please be seated. Third row, please stand. John Matthews from the Eudora Police Department. James Nelson from the Andover Police Department. Maverick Oldie from the Prairie Band Potawatomi Police Department. Jennifer Pep from the Riley County Police Department. Sierra Roberts from the Arma Police Department. Eduardo Valdez from the Garden City Police Department. Gage Whitmore from the Riley County Police Department. Dennis Zogelman from Kansas Department of Wildlife and Parks.
And Justin Atchison of the Wellsville Police Department. Third row, you can return to your seats. Please be seated. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for attending today's graduation, and to our partners in law enforcement out there, thank you for supporting your new recruits out there. And I think you've heard from this class that they are special people. So hopefully they will serve your communities out there well. Class 284, would you please stand? So this happened to me last graduation as well. I'm going to have to figure something out here. I have to bless them first. Then you can give the applause. Class 284, on behalf of Director Beck, I hereby certify that each one of you have completed the requirements to be law enforcement officers in the state of Kansas. Class 284. And the words they've been waiting 14 weeks for, class dismissed.